trachea, and the right subclavian, which goes under the right clavicle. That's what the brachiocephalic splits off of. But you have a left common carotid and a left subclavian, and they come off separately. So when you're talking about arch of aorta, think BCS. Brachiocephalic artery, left common carotid, left subclavian in that order. That's how they come off the arch of the aorta. Guaranteed they're going to be asked on a lab practical. So brachiocephalic is the first one. There's only one. It's on the right side.
Are we always going to see it at an anterior view?
Yeah, you will always see that on an anterior view. So BCS, brachiocephalic, left common carotid, left subclavian.
So we don't need to know the right side?
Well, the brachiocephalic splits off into the right common carotid and right subclavian. So the brachiocephalic leads into those two, but on the left side, the left common carotid and the left subclavian come off separately, all by their lonesome. That's just how we're put together. Who knows why? We do have a left and a right brachiocephalic vein, but we only have a right brachiocephalic artery. That's just the weird way we're put together. I don't know why. BCS, brachiocephalic artery, left common carotid, left subclavian.
What is that you're giving us? BCS?
BCS, that's in order who comes off of the aortic arch.
Okay,
B, brachiocephalic artery, C, the left common carotid, S, the left subclavian.
If you look at it from this view, it's thank you.
Now, the common carotids come up on either side of the trachea. They break off into an external and internal carotid. External carotid will feed the face. Internal carotid goes up into the brain. Okay? So, internal,
Yeah.
the common carotid splits off into the external and internal carotid. External carotid feeds the face. Internal carotid goes up into the brain.
Which makes sense, it's more protected.
Right,
So
absolutely.
the internal is in
Yeah.
Right. External is for face. Internal is going to the brain.
Is that the same on either side?
Yes.
It is weird how the body does that.
Well, it looks like
He's turned to one side, but if he was facing
you
towards
also
you,
have a left
yes,
external
right.
carotid. Okay.
When you're talking about vertebral arteries, the best way to look at that and what you'll see on a lab exam is arteries going through the transverse foramen of a cervical vertebrae. When you see that, it's a vertebral artery. So remember the transverse vertebrae. Remember only vertebral arteries have them. They're holes in the transverse processes. Vertebral arteries go through those. So that's what you're going to see to identify for a lab exam. When you see that, it's a vertebral artery. Cool? Oh, okay. Now, here, when we're talking about the upper limb, you're going to go from the subclavian, which is under the clavicle, to the axillary, which is in the armpit. Don't worry about all these other things like circumflex and whatever. You don't need to know the difference between deep brachial and brachial, as long as you know that if it's an artery in the arm, and that's the one you compress for the blood pressure cuff, that is the brachial artery. And then brachial artery